guys are on.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Breakfast with Disaster. Today we're actually coming to you live from Roger Schmitt's office, Farmers Insurance. Roger, thanks for joining us today.
Not a problem. Pleasure to do it.
Yeah, good morning to you. How are you doing today?
I can't complain. I know weather's changing a little bit for us, but hey, that's life in Buffalo.
Yeah, absolutely. So today, guys, I just wanted to kind of make today's theme about being a good entrepreneur and some tips that might play a factor into helping you become, if somebody ever want to start their own business in the future. So today should be a good episode. So Roger, you actually opened this location pretty recently, correct? Was it?
Yeah, I did. It was actually this February that I opened the doors of this office. I have been an agent with Farmers since June of last year.
Oh, all right.
But
all right.
it's one of those things that Farmers requires is that you have your own office and staff before you can actually open up and become what they call a career agent. So yeah, February is when I started.
Interesting. Well, congratulations on
thank you very much.
The beautiful office you guys got here too. So
thanks, appreciate it.
And just a couple questions for you. Like, what would be the process for starting your own insurance agency? What would that look like?
Well, with Farmers, it was really easy. They kind of laid out everything that needed to be done. They had a great what they call onboarding consultant that I worked with throughout the process. So it was a matter of, first and foremost, you have to get your license. That's what you have to do. And then there's an actual what they call Farmers University that you have to go to. You're not learning farming, obviously. You're just learning about their products and how they do things.
Gotcha.
And then eventually just moving into setting up your office and getting your staff. So
sure,
there's a process, and I'm sure it's different with other companies, but I'm sure it's somewhat the same as well.
Interesting. Would you say it's a fairly expensive process to start, or is it kind of how you approach it?
Well, with Farmers, it really wasn't expensive. It's not a franchise. A lot of people think I bought a franchise, and it's not that way. It can be expensive for some people if they're going to buy what they call a book of business, which means somebody's already an agent and they're selling all their customers' information, basically, so that person can start. I didn't go through that. I'm starting from scratch. So really it was a matter of having a little bit of back money, like maybe get a small business loan, something like that, so that you can make sure that you're backed a little bit while your business starts to pick up.
Yeah. This is a good question for you. I think you'll enjoy this one. Something that you could have something you could have changed maybe before you started, like something that might have saved you time or money before you actually opened up the franchise, or the agency here.
Yeah, you don't know from day to day. I mean, the first few days you're sitting there watching the phone, waiting for it to ring.
Yeah.
And week after week, it slowly starts to progress. But the biggest risk for me, and I guess for anybody starting their own business, is taking that leap of faith and leaving a steady paycheck behind and wondering where is this going to go, and day to day thinking, did I do the right thing?
Yeah.
It's just a matter of starting that journey and don't look back.
Gotcha.
For sure.
How did you know when you were ready? That's kind of like a weird question, but I guess did it just kind of hit you all of a sudden? You're like, hey, you know what? I want to open up my own insurance service. Or was it just something that came to you? Or?
For the longest time, I always thought about having my own business. I've been a manager to some degree in a lot of different companies, and I always thought to myself it would be great to do that. With recent issues with COVID and people working from home, I just happened to be contacted by Farmers, and just at the time it seemed right. Like I said, I've been talked to, contacted by a lot of different major insurance companies. It just didn't feel right, but it was just let's call it a gut feeling that it seemed like it was the right time to do it.
Yeah,
everything seemed to be pointing that direction. That this was something that I really should do in my life. It's
awesome. That's great, and it's funny how you just know when something's right for you. I totally get it. Like, I do actually have one other question. Since our theme today obviously is tips for being a good entrepreneur, what if you could maybe list maybe 3 or 4 things that you would think would make up a great entrepreneur?
Yeah, you definitely have to have discipline for sure. You've got to be focused. It's definitely something that you need to do. You got to want to do it too. It's not something that you just get up and say, well, I think I'm going to do this.
No, you got to really want to.
You got to really want to do it, and having that faith in yourself to keep moving forward. And life and being in business, knocks you back a few steps every once in a while.
Yep.
Just got to get up, dust yourself off, and,
Yep.
and just keep going.
And I feel like it could work both ways with some people. Like if you don't have the self-discipline, I feel like you could abuse that right and then not work as hard. Does that make sense? Like, now, I'm not saying you. I'm saying like some people I've seen over the years where the freedom it can actually hurt you. Like where if you got to really keep yourself in order to stay on top. So
absolutely, because you're kind of got free reign of your own business. But
yeah.
if you don't keep that focus and you don't get up every morning, put your business suit on or your business clothes on, and as if you are working for someone or for some company, because you really are. We're working for yourself, and if you don't respect that fact, then you're not going to be doing that well.
No, exactly. And if anybody has any questions too for Roger, feel free to throw it up in the chat, and we can answer those as well for you. A funny question for you. Thought it'd be interesting because I feel like everybody always has some crazy story. Is there any story that maybe stood out from your time as being insurance that was just maybe hysterical, funny, or whatever?
I can't think of anything that stands out right away. I mean, obviously you're dealing with a lot of different people, a lot of walks of life.
Yeah.
And it's which really makes the job interesting. I think on side of a crazy story, I think it's the ties that I have and people have within Western New York that really kind of sticks out. Somebody will come in that I never met before, I have no idea, and just through conversation, a previous job or something, bowling or something comes up.
Funny how that works,
All of a sudden, I know somebody that they know, and before you know it, we're talking about all these people that we know.
Exactly.
That's maybe not a crazy story, but it's
it's realistic
and it really makes the job fun because I try to search for that now because it keeps conversation going, it keeps people interested in yourself and in being here and comfortable with me.
Absolutely.
As an agent.
Absolutely. No, I appreciate that. What do you like? This will probably just be one of my last questions. But what do you like most about having your own agency as farmers? What do you like most about having it?
People.
Yeah.
People is it. That's one of the biggest reasons, if not the biggest reasons I got into it.
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed working with people, meeting people. Everybody's got a story to tell. There's interesting things that people can tell you about their life, about their grandfather's life, something in the area that was there and it's not there anymore. I mean, I really get into that, the history of the area. So meeting a lot of different people and hearing their stories, that's
great.
That's one of the biggest things, yeah.
Awesome. And I can relate to that 100%. It's funny how you just have that natural ability to just gravitate towards somebody without having any sense of nervousness. So totally get with that. Totally understand that. So also I just want to thank you very much for coming on the show today as well.
Oh, my pleasure.
Taking the time.
I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
We're going to go ahead now with the infamous wheel spin.
So I brought that up. Chris, I'm covering your face with that, just so you know.
Okay.
I originally came up on Roger's face and felt rude. So.
You should let Roger spin the wheel.
All right. Well, I'll spin the wheel. I'll tell you what the number is. How about that?
Fair enough.
All right. Wheel is spinning. We'll do it. Nice.
All right.
Let's see what comes up. 691.
And the winner on today's Wheel of Prize is 691.
Which is going to be Amanda from the Schmitt Agency.
Ah, Amanda from the Shunky Agency, right up the street.
All right, Amanda. Well, thank you for.
He's got that good announcer voice.
Congratulations, Amanda. I will give you a call and I will stop by your office here in the next few days. Everybody, I just wanted to thank you once again